Howdy everybody in YouTube land. Finally got this guy recapped. This thing was god awful, especially these capacitors right here. These radial, they're pretty nasty. Yeah, so anyway, went ahead and replaced all those. I only had a couple tantalum left in my collection, one there, and then I placed one there, and the reason why I did is so I can lay these other ones flat. I'll tell you what, something that doesn't make sense about this board is, if you look, there's a tantalum capacitor already right there, and there's one right there. Why didn't they just use them in the rest of them? I don't get it. But whatever. So I went ahead and changed those, especially that one there. That was the worst one of the bunch. It was so bad it leaked all the way through the board and damaged the through-hole connection. Hopefully I got it secure enough to put it back together and make sure that it works. So now that that's been done, the original battery is dead. I don't have one that's charged, so I'm gonna hope that I can get this thing to fire up without the original battery. I know that normally they don't, but in this case I should be able to make an exception because the unit, if you put a larger power adapter on there, it should work. That's assuming I remember how to put this thing back together, because it's been a while. I took it apart and I don't remember how I put it together, but whatever. So what we're going to do is set up the tripod. We're going to try to grab the yeah, something like that. We're going to try to grab the rest of the case. So we'll set the motherboard aside for right now. Grab this monstrosity. Pieces and parts over here. Original hard disk drive, which I hope is good because it uses a proprietary SCSI connection for the Mac Portable. No other Apple product used that connector. So here we go. Nice thing about this case is it's actually a toolless case. This uses no screws whatsoever. Saved a little tote of random parts. Boy, I'm gonna have some fun. I gotta remember how this thing goes back together. Yay! Trackball. This is a ribbon to plug into the board. This is the motherboard. Oh, one thing I should mention. The main lead acid battery goes here, but there's also a little 9-volt battery that's for the PRAM. So this one's a little bit different. And the fact that this doesn't use the 3-volt lithium battery like most Apple products did. It actually uses a standard 9-volt. Oh, I want to warn you, now that we're talking about this, anybody that has a vintage Macintosh or any vintage computer of that nature that has the Maxell 3-volt battery, please remove that Maxell battery. This is the red packaged battery. We're running into an epidemic. This is the perfect timing for this too. The Maxell batteries are exploding. They are seriously exploding to the point to where it's just rusting out the chassis, the motherboard, and everything. I even think UXW Bill made a video on this, but I just want to emphasize that any vintage computer, Macintosh, PC, whatever, that has this 3-volt Maxell battery, please remove the battery. They will explode and leak. Guaranteed. The purple battery hasn't. The purple Telsai, I can't remember the brand name of it, hasn't, but the red Maxell will. It's a given. Oh, now that that's out of the way. The actual Macintosh portable case is signed. Product design team. Anyway, in case you weren't aware that they're signed, they definitely are signed. So now, we're going to go ahead and take this machine and put the motherboard back together. I'm not entirely sure how to do that just yet. So I'm going to assume that the motherboard goes here. I think. Do yourself a favor. If you take one of these apart, please put it back together the same day. Because if you don't, you're going to have a lot of problems. Oh, I see how it goes. I see how to do it now. There's little grooves. There we go. There we go. We got it now. See? All perfect. Now, from that point, we plug in this connector here. We grab our speaker. And plug it in. My God, that capacitor juice smells bad. Whew. First smell of dead fish. Man. Alright. So, that's plugged in there. I think this guy slides in there just like that. And click, done. Okay. First thing that's going to go in is the floppy drive, which goes, that's simple enough, disk. And this guy goes on top of that. I assume just clicks right in. I mean, that's pretty simple. What do you think? There's a spot for two floppies, but there's only one. Alright, that was simple enough. There's a little interlock switch in there too, so the battery cover has to be on or the machine won't even think about firing up. Okay. Time to grab the keyboard, which is still over here. The keyboard, notice it's got two plugs, one over here and one over here. And the way that is because you can actually configure as a righty where you have the mouse and the keyboard this way, or you can configure it this way as a lefty. That's the nice thing about it. You can pop the top off and configure that. But since I'm a righty, I'm going to put it in this way. Done. Next. There you go, parts. Modem. Not going to use that for nothing. RAM. So we're actually going to want RAM. So the RAM is going to go in there. Just like that. Cables. I/O cables. One goes to the keyboard. These are keyed, you can't plug them in backwards. typical IDC header. Plug in another one there. Done. Both the mouse and the keyboard is plugged in. So I can sit here and power it. Click the mouse. Why is that in there? I have no idea. Why that's in there, I have no idea. And why is that? Why is all that in there? Why? It don't belong in there. Huh. Did you know I had that? It's amazing what you'll find. Holy crap. Huh. It's really amazing what you'll find. Now, here comes the fun part. The part that I don't know, or I don't remember how to do. Actually, you know what? The battery cover's missing. Oh, no, there's. Never mind. False alarm. Battery cover. I'm going to put that in there for right now. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to clip that into place. Actually, no. You got to slide this one in. What we're going to do is we're going to try to power this up and see if we can get a chime before I put this thing all the way back together. And in order to power this thing up without the original adapter, I have the original adapter, but it's only 1.5 amp, which requires the assistance of the battery to run. This is a 2 amp, so we're going to plug that in instead. Turn the power off to that. Plug that guy in right here. Power. Do we get a chime? No. My button's jammed. Oh, never mind, that's a locking switch. To be honest with you, I don't know much about the Mac Portable. This is the first one I ever owned. But we got no chime. Huh. Well, maybe it requires a screen to be connected. Be right back. Or maybe it does have to have the battery. I might have to do a bypass or something. Might have to. Well, let's see. Let's plug in the screen just to make sure that it requires that to be plugged in. Done. Oh, I got a backlight. And it shut off. That's a lot more than what it did before. So, that's what it is. It wants that battery in there. It has to have that battery in there. So, let's see if we can't make it happy. I don't have a 9-volt handy. So, we'll put the battery in it. Nope, wrong way. Won't go in that way. This is probably a death sentence, but we'll give it a shot. Got backlight, and it shut off. To be continued.